Hey guys, Professor Bell, Comic Book University, and Aquaman, issue number 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Just the way it happened. Issue number 5 came out this week, and I decided to just read all 5 issues because I used to always love me some Aquaman. You know what I'm saying? All that underwater stuff, it just absolutely blew me away. So whether it's Namor, the first, or Aquaman, the second, doesn't matter. Always loved these two characters. So, and of course, Aquaman clearly had the better costume. Anyway, I decided I'm going to read these, and I actually enjoyed them, as I really expected to. But at the same time, what's been happening to comic books? Well, that kind of went away for the most part. And I do have a complaint or two about this 5 issues, but really nothing that's going to keep me from reading issue number 6 when it comes out next month. This was really fun. Let's get talking about all that good stuff after we give credit where credit's due. So DC Comics proudly presents, and I'm proud to read, Aquaman in The Rising Tide. Writer, Jeremy Adams. Artist, and cover artist, John Timms. Colorist, Rex Locus. Is that like Imperious Rex Locus? I won't go there. I just did. Okay, anyway. Letters by Dave Sharpe. I miss calling him that. I know it's Sharp, but it just is what it is. A whole bunch of variant covers here, and the thing I love, love, love about DC Comics, they almost always mention Aquaman was created by Paul Norris and Mort Weisinger. Oh God, I just love when they do that. Makes me so happy. Guys, I'm going to say straight up, the art in this is fantastic. The humans will sometimes look a little bit silly, but for the most part, Aquaman always looks regal. He always looks like he's stepping out of a freaking sculpture someplace. You know what I'm saying? Like he was just thinking, and now he's got some butt to whoop. Right away, I turned to this one page with the plane going down and the smoke coming out of the twin engines, and it says behind it, 1 year before. And it's like, man, that is actually pretty darn good. So we get a whole bunch of stuff here, including the idea that Mira has been teaching, she's been teaching him how to use the hydrokinesis. Now, that's not something that you could just learn willy-nilly. Something happened that caused him to be able to use hydrokinesis. I'm not sure what, and I've clearly missed a lot since I think it's 2019 since the last time I've read some Aquaman. I don't think it was much after that. I don't even think it was 2020, honestly. Actually, right around then is when all the comic books stopped, right? That's what pretty much killed it for all of us because COVID. Anyway, are they still taking away your video monetization and banning a video because you say the word COVID? God, I hope not. I said it twice already. Anyway, again, art, beautiful, because Atlantis just looks amazing, dude. Absolutely amazing. So, yeah, seeing how much I've missed, they've got a new son. It looks like it's a son, Andrina. Wild. Okay, so he's got a new kid. Interesting. Bunch of things happening here. There's this pearl that shows up, and then Aquaman gets summoned far away to fight this creature made out of living water, and is beating him up. And there's some funny stuff going, but at some point he realizes I've got to use my hydrokinesis, and then he just, and then the thing just disappears. Meanwhile, it was beating him, right? Interesting. And then immediately disappears, and then he hears Mira screaming for help. Swims back faster than he's ever swam before, getting into some issues here, and then Atlantis is gone, and only the pearl is left. So he goes to the Justice League, to the Watchtower, tries to talk to Batman. Batman's wearing too many capes at this point. But yeah, goes and talks to Batman and says, hey, what do I do? Batman and Wonder Woman go back with Aquaman to try and find out what's wrong, but they're useless. He points out how useless they are down here, but it shows their character, that they're willing to come down here and help them out. And that alone was fantastic for me. I do wish, not that I wanted Batman and Wonder Woman to join Aquaman when he went through that portal that the Pearl opened up, but it almost seems like, they punked out by not going. There's only but so much you could say nice about them. They've got great character. But they were just like, you go get him, King. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're right behind you. In spirit though. Like, what the hell was that? Um the comic book just goes a little bit nuts, right? And I'm not just talking about this issue, I'm talking about all 5 of these issues. They're fantastic, right? So imaginative. They mentioned oh, what the heck was it called? Darn it, Rising Tide. What the hell was that? Justice League and Aquaman crossover. Um, Drowned Earth. That's what it was. This one's basically the Dark Tide. That's what's happening here. But they mentioned that Drowned Earth, and I'm like, that's hysterical because that's the last thing that I'd read. And anyway, so apparently he goes through the portal, and then when they realize what the portal is, it's actually the Omega symbol. So dark side, anyone. Issue number 3, the title actually starts on top with Dark Side Is. It's like, oh man, are we really going back to that Tom King Mr. Miracle thing? Look, I know it was one of the absolute coolest freaking sayings you could ever say in a comic book. It was one of the coolest things ever. Dark Side Is, fill in the blank. Just dot, 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 right? I loved it. All of us loved it. But seriously, you had to throw that in there when we don't have Dark Side in here. Anyway, so apparently, what's his name? Dagon is in charge here. Not the Dagons that we've seen in the past, but this is actually more like the Dagon from the Robert E. Howard stuff, which is perfect to me because Atlantis was mentioned in those Robert E. Howard books. Dagon, who's actually a Syrian god in the Bible. It's actually in the Old Testament. It's one of the false gods that the other people worship, like Baal and Moloch, right? So anyway, Dagon was a Syrian god. Here in Robert E. Howard and in here, it's a god that had something to do with Atlantis or Lemuria or something to that effect, and it was like super powerful and it was under the sea. So a little different than the Syrian stuff, right? Because they're just a sea of sand. Um, it's fascinating how they're using the character in a different way, and I'm totally all here for it. Towards the end, you see that Mira has been changed somehow. You don't see it, but it's said, and then her face is covered. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here, but I really am curious to see what happens when you move her hair and if it's going to freak out Aquaman. Aquaman winds up meeting one of the old kings of Atlantis, and he winds up meeting the Lady of the Lake, Vivian. She makes him a new weapon, and it's a trident / sword. It's kind of like a Minecraft toy that, changes from a pickaxe to a sword. I'm digging it. I'm liking it. It's made specifically for him, so awesome. So he gets to use his trident, and he gets to use a much more useful sword. So very happy to see that. Also, they call it thalassa, which I think is really cool because that's the Greek word for, I actually had to look it up because I'm like, seriously? Thalatha is the name or the number 3 in Arabic. So that right away, I'm just like, oh, thalassa, thalatha. It's really just a different pronunciation, but it means 3, like a trident, right? But then there's also the Greek etymology of the word, which means the sea. And so I'm like, oh, wow, that is just such a perfect name for this freaking thing, right? And the Lady of the Lake made it. So I'm digging it. I'm all over this thing. Anyway, they make the weapon for him, but he doesn't get to use it right away because Lori shows up. You remember the mermaid? And she's not a hero at this point. She's actually a mercenary with 2 of her sisters. And that's actually hysterical because it's funny. The last time I read Lori was actually in the not Frank Herbert. The hell's his name? Oh, for crying out loud, I hate it when I forget people's names. But I always forget people's names. Frank Miller. Thank you. Anyway, Frank Miller actually went and did this. Remember the Black Label Superman book, those 3 issues, and Lori was in that. Cool. I'm happy to see her again. There's a lot of callbacks to a lot of really cool things in this story, even though it's changed. And he's got the hydrokinesis, and that seems to be a big deal. And he's already using it to manipulate mud, and then he starts using it to manipulate blood, his own and others, and he's taking blood into him, and this is making it so that he is now apparently a new god. And I don't mean just like, oh, he's a brand new god. No, you know, one of the fourth world, the new gods. Apparently, Aquaman is considered one of those, and in some ways, I'm actually okay with that, and it fits when you think about it, right? Aquaman is dealing with the blue in this. Awesome. It's funny, I was just doing one of my role-playing games with some of my buds, and I was bringing up what the blue is because they were more familiar with Marvel than DC. So I'm explaining there's the blue, there's the green, there's the red, there's a whole bunch of different things. That's actually the different elements, and then beyond the mystical ideas, the psychic ideas of these elements, the essence of what these elements are, right? The what do you call it? Plant control, animal control, and then there's the blue, which is just so much more, and essentially the leader of all of those from a certain point of view. I am really liking everything I see here. I did say I had a complaint. The complaint is that it's too fast. This comic book seems to be rushing to get through itself, and it's cool because Aquaman's getting a bunch of stuff in. I think it was issue 4 had a really great story with his father because the kids were making fun of him for not going out into the sea. And his father, an emergency came up and he explained why he doesn't do that because he's too busy trying to help those who go out to sea. And it was a really good story. I liked it, right? It's just a little side thing. But there's so much in here. And if you guys are an underwater fan, if you guys are a scuba-esque fan, if you are an Aquaman fan, I think you're going to like this book. These books, these stories, right? Before you know it, the 6-issue trade paperback for this will be out, and you could burn through all of them, and it'll be a great read. And then jump on the regular comic book after that at the very least. A lot of covers coming out for these. DC usually makes a habit of making 2 covers for each comic book, you know, after the first one, which is going to have like 40. But it's all good, and you get to pick what you want, and usually they're pretty good. I'm also really happy that Aquaman isn't getting the ultimate effect. No, the absolute effect, right? Because having a Mezos take over for the other characters is well and good and fine and all that stuff. But I'm glad they didn't do that for Aquaman because it just really wouldn't be him. It really has to be him to get these things. I mean, unless you were to take us through, then again, if they were to take us through what the world is and whatnot, you know, maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But for now, I am really happy that it's Arthur Curry himself, Orin, because wow. And also just a little bit of wow to spice it up a little bit more. Really good stuff, and I think you guys will like it. So go pick it up, give it a try. I'll talk to you guys later. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.